if there was a magical massage that got rid of cellulite, shit.
Right, but it definitely doesn't.
And not every modality is for every person.
Correct. There is not such a thing as the same pressure for everybody.
There's
And then-
no one size fits all. Well, look at that.
Look
Look
at
at that thought process.
Definitely not.
So not everybody can follow the same diet.
What? Or the same workout plan.
I'm sure that most people think that you should only get a massage if you're tight or
Correct.
if you're tense.
Most people do like to wait until things get bad.
He's calling us out.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Even the best people
The
out
shoe
there.
fits.
Hey, listen.
Lace that bitch up.
How should somebody do an Epsom salt bath?
It can burn your epidermis. It can burn your skin.
I'm a burner.
Yeah. Well, most.
What about little things that people notice, like carpal tunnel, or people that self-diagnose?
Google is a
We
big.
love those.
How can you be in a happy mood if everything is bothering you?
What is or has been the most impactful part of your work, like for you?
Welcome to episode 1
Yes.
of our new show. She is Lais, and I am the coach, and that is the name of our show.
First of all, if there's ever been a time for personal bubble, this is it.
We will always stay true to what we do. What you're doing is going to get you to the next place.
Right.
Throw the list away. It's only a matter of time before you cave.
You can look way better than you used to.
Such a great experience.
Well, like it knows everything you've given.
Shown curiosity. What if it actually works?
I've been chopped down como persona.
100%.
An extra vitamin C
right now. Sometimes it is a memory.
Welcome, everybody. Peace out, everybody.
Welcome, everybody, to Lais and The Coach, and we have a brand new episode today. This year, Lais and I have been chatting not only with local businesses where we live, but we have been talking a lot about recovery. It is actually the theme of our next immersion. So recovery is a big topic for 2023 for us. And what better way to talk about it today than with Francisco, who is our massage therapist.
Hi. Hey.
So today we are going to talk about all things massage, because I think that there are a lot of misconceptions. I think that people have a general idea of what massages are, but don't really know the power behind it, why they should do it, all the different kinds, and how it's applicable to whatever thing they need it for. So welcome, Francisco, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate being here and love expanding that knowledge for people and
Awesome.
definitely bring a little bit of health into that realm of healing.
Absolutely. So before we get started, how long have you been practicing or doing massage? How did you get into it? I think people like to know like how somebody got started with doing what they're doing. Okay. Gives a little bit of a story.
Context, yeah.
Awesome. So I've been doing this for 10 years. This is my 10th year. I started pretty young. I started at 21. I'm 31 right now. I always was in the whole athleticism. I was an athlete since I was 6. I've been swimming until I was 18. Since 16, I was at the gym, always trying to better myself and become more athletic in that sense. Because of that, I was always around people who wanted to be better when it came down to their physical health.
Okay.
Because of that, I was always inclined into helping people. And one of those things that I was just good at massaging people. I don't know. It just came right off the bat. So because of that, I guess I wanted to go with physical therapy, but I wasn't able to afford it in the moment.
Okay.
Such a career. So I started from the bottom.
Okay.
I started with massage therapy. And I fell in love with massage therapy because it allowed me to actually engage with people directly without having to have so many years in school. But without those years in school, I was able to get them through my continuing education, because my continuing education also allows me to take pretty much similar classes, all the same classes that physical therapists, chiropractors take for the continuing education as well.
Right. Interestingly enough, I don't think a lot of people know that that's how I started originally.
Oh.
I was going to go the physical therapy route.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was interning at a clinic, and I was doing aqua therapy. I was doing aqua rehab for a lot of patients.
That's awesome.
But my personality doesn't allow the patients required to deal with insurance and doctors and whether or not a patient gets 6 visits authorized. And it's like, all right, so now I got somebody coming to me to help them recover, but their insurance is only paying for 6 visits.
Correct.
Right.
What are we going to get out of that?
Yeah.
You know, and then that happened over and over. And I'm
You're
like,
limited in the
I'm like,
help.
this isn't what I want to do. I'm not really helping somebody. I am going through the process of whatever their insurance dictates that I can do. And that's it.
Yep.
And that was really frustrating for me. I'm like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't pursue it.
That's funny, man, because since you're saying that, when I first started massage therapy, a lot of the times when you start, you have to start from the bottom. And what that means is you have no experience, and every other place wants experience.
Of course.
So you start at franchises, and the franchises are little spas or that, you find here and there. But the thing with the franchises is kind of like in the hospital. There's a lot of bureaucracy when it comes down to what you're doing with your clients. So you get limited to the amount of things that you can do based on how much the client is paying. So that's something that motivated me to become also independent, because I felt like I didn't feel like I was able to give them 100% into the session that I was doing. And because of that, I didn't feel I was giving the high quality massage that I can do for my clients.
Cool. And that brings me to, I guess, my next question, which I want to divide in two separate parts.
Okay.
Most people in general, people feel that massaging is literally what it sounds like, just like a massage, right? Somebody's like rubbing your shoulders, or the guy at the mall, giving you a massage. That's honestly, unfortunately, the perspective that most people have.
Okay.
So could we talk a little bit about the different kinds of massages that people could get on a basic level? Like,
of course,
like if somebody walked into your place or any place, like what are they really looking at in terms of what they can expect?
Okay, so in general, when you come to, for example, my session, once again, it's a session. Because it's a session, that means that any applicable skills that I have from a deep tissue massage, a soft tissue work, a therapeutic massage, sports massage, and I'll explain a little bit of what each one is. Swedish massage, which is more of a soft tissue work, which is what most people are used to, which is a Swedish massage. It's just circulation and that's about it. There's a lot more, because when you start doing more stuff like sports massage and therapeutic massage, you start stretching the muscles, you start scraping the muscles to utilize a little bit of that circulation as well, but with promoting movement to the muscles, so you can have the ability to give it the most range of motion you can. So depending on what the person's goals are, we can implement the different type of therapies. Now, when it comes down to a sports therapy, that's usually what most athletes get in inclusion with therapeutic. A sports therapy is a little more fast-paced. It's not about so much of relaxation, but much more of reducing inflammation and also creating that range of motion for the person.
Okay.
When it comes down to relaxation, now, there's a misconception with relaxation. Just because I'm working on the muscles doesn't mean you cannot relax.
Right.
One thing leads to the other. When I get to your muscles to calm down and relax and start like really, moving around, you get to relax. Because sometimes we don't notice how much tension we have on us, which we were just talking earlier. And that's normal for us. So depending on what type of tensions, what type of goals you have for your massage, we can implement the different type of techniques. And that's not just techniques. We can also go into the realm of equipment, and things we can use too.
So let's talk a little bit about technique first.
Awesome.
Why would someone get deep tissue versus Swedish? Or better question, why should someone get deep tissue versus like a Swedish or something else?
When I would say that depending on the condition that the person has, if it's a pretty acute condition on the muscles being too tight, too much tension, hypertension, like some people have, those are the type of instances that you want to get something like a deep tissue or a therapeutic massage. Because we're able to penetrate into like it says, a deeper tissue in the muscle. The techniques are going to be a lot more straining on the muscle, but at the same time, it's going to allow it to let go, because it needs that much force against it to be able to release the muscle. Now, you want to get a Swedish massage when you're just looking to promote just circulation for the body, without having to make the person pretty much tension against you.
Got it. That's a little bit softer.
So it's a lot softer.
Got it.
You totally are just going in pretty much the topical muscles, like the part of the top part layer.
You're not really digging in deep.
Not at all.
What about like the lymphatic? Because that's what women always want.
Right. So that's a funny part, because in my case, I don't promote fully lymphatic drainages. That's not my expertise. But I have taken continuing education for lymphatic drainage, very basic. But it's funny because it depends on the therapist out there.
Okay.
I've noticed that what I've learned is not necessarily the same as what other people do out there for lymphatic drainages. What I've learned is that the lymphatic drainage has to be kind of soft, because the lymph, where the canal where the lymph goes through, it collapses when you put too much pressure into it.
Okay.
So it actually doesn't promote that lymphatic drainage. But it seems like other professionals out there have taken it to the next level and tried to really go a little deeper on the muscle, when sometimes they're not really promoting that lymphatic drainage.
Why would someone need a lymphatic drainage type massage?
Why? Because
Not why they would want it, because we know why they want it.
To get rid of cellulite. That's what
Right.
everyone says. Like, as if there was a magical massage that got rid of cellulite. Shit.
right, but it definitely doesn't. There's
Definitely
not such
not.
a thing.
So why would someone need that?
The lymphatic drainage usually is mainly for people who are having issues with the lymph nodes,
Okay.
meaning the canals where the lymph nodes are going through are blocked at certain points, and they're not releasing some of those toxins that are within it. Okay, so you might want to get a lymphatic drainage for that. Also, it's meant for the people who have gotten surgeries,
Okay.
aesthetical surgeries. You want to get that type of lymphatic drainage to release a lot of the liquid that gets
Stuff.
accumulated
Okay.
from
Yeah.
for the stimulation of the muscle when you get that surgery. Your body automatically is going to send blood, and so everything that is encompasses in the blood is going to go through there, and it might make it swollen. So you want something like a lymphatic drainage to release that and let it flow naturally.
And then what about like a sports therapy massage, or how would that be different than a deep tissue, let's say? Is it specific to the thing that they're doing?
I would say so, and mainly is because a sports massage would be a lot more stretching
Okay.
than a deep tissue. A deep tissue will be focusing more in specific areas and going deeper in those specific areas to release partially parts of the muscle or the whole muscle itself through trigger point therapy
Okay.
and things along the lines. Comparing to a sports massage where you perhaps might be using some deep tissue techniques in there, but you're constantly trying to move the muscle around, you try to stretch it out. In my practice, I tend to include a little bit of both,
Okay.
because I think it's important. I like nitpicking the best out of each thing
Okay.
and use it through my sessions. I don't think one is better than the other. I just think it's necessary depending on the area and what the person is feeling like. I can't do a deep tissue in a person that is highly sore on their muscles, so I have to perhaps do a little bit of soft tissue work, do some vibration therapy to get them to relax a little bit and allow the muscle not to be so sensitive, and then create some deep tissue work in there.
Got it. Got it.
Oh my God, the vibration thing is like not my jam.
Yes,
It is
definitely.
not my jam.
It did not work for you as well because you didn't get to relax as much.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, get it off me.
Right, but somebody like him,
He
like
loves
Rafael,
it.
he
I know.
likes it, and
Yeah.
I see a lot of good results with people. But with that same thought, then we start applying other things that might relax the muscle. Like for example, the heat from the hot stones that relaxes you.
Oh, 100%.
I haven't had any issues with people with heat, for example. There's very few. But then you have the people who relax with heat and don't relax with cold. There's the people that relax with cold, don't relax with heat. So it's very customized to whatever is going on and how the person
And not
is.
every modality is for every person.
Correct. I would say so. At least in my career, what I've seen is that, like I said, if somebody's too sore, you don't want to apply something too deep. If somebody is really tight, you definitely want to work deep in the muscle, but you want to go depending on how the person can take it as well.
Got it.
There is not such a thing as the same pressure for everybody.
There's
And then-
no one size fits all. Well, look at
Wow,
that.
look at
Look at
that.
that thought process.
Definitely
So
not.
not everybody can follow the same diet.
What? Or the same workout plan.
100%.
And then what are some of the, additional tools that you use or that you could use during a session?
So my main ones that I use would be the vibration therapy, which was the massage gun, 100%. The other set of tools that I use is hot stones. They allow me to pretty much give you heat in my hands without burning you and promote a little easier circulation.
Okay.
Because once the heat is introduced to the body, the muscle automatically relaxes.
That's what I need.
100%.
That's what I need.
Other than that, there's other therapies that there's other tools that I can use, and I have used like aromatherapy. I see
Okay.
that as a tool. Aromatherapy can help a person, one, open them up from the inside,
Okay.
like their lungs. Like peppermint, for example, will help a person really be able to breathe in and expand their lungs to a bigger capacity that wouldn't have before. or perhaps if through the massage they're getting stuff up because we're moving all the stuff inside around the, through the nose, the sinuses. Something like a aromatherapy will help them, at least breathe better. That's another tool. The next one that I haven't used, but I do believe on, is something like a cryotherapy.
Okay.
Now, we massage therapists can definitely apply that into our therapy. I haven't gotten to that level yet, but I believe really big on that. I think that cold therapy is huge, and you can see results right away.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done that.
And in the future, I'm definitely going to be applying that.
And then what are some
We have a question about a tool. What about the scraping things that everyone does?
That's funny.
I'm sure everyone's seen all this shit on Instagram.
Right.
I know I have.
So the scraping, the funny thing about the scraping thing is that it used to be, so I took the class for the original technique, which is called washa.
Mhm.
Washa is where the whole craft and the scraping techniques came from. It's an Asian technique. It usually is, you see it usually done by chiropractors or massage therapists or body workers, like some of us like to call ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah, body workers, because
Yeah.
it's more than just a massage,
Yeah,
as you can see.
I like that.
At that point, I would think that in washa you use a very thin, very, very thin, like rocks. Like
Okay.
this, I don't like to call it rocks, but it's so thin, but they look exactly like the tools that you see for the chiropractors. Instead of being metal, they're made out of a different material, like a rock or something like that.
Okay.
I took the class. I believe that it works very well for athletes and people who are working out, because it releases a lot of the tension on the muscle without even going too deep, because you're literally scraping the top of the layer of the muscle, which is what usually gets so intensely tight.
Yeah.
Got it.
But it's something that really works. I do apply it, but in my own techniques, I decided not to use a tool. I use the tool that I use the most, which is my hand. So with my hand, I'm able to provide that also.
Same
that
thing.
scraping. Yep.
Got it.
100%.
Cool. And then what I was going to ask is, like, what are some of the misconceptions that most people, like Gen Pop, have about getting a massage? Like, I'm sure that most people think that you should only get a massage if you're tight or if you're tense.
Okay.
What else have you heard?
That's a pretty good one. Let's start with that one. So most people do like to wait until things get bad. Kind of like, so the way that I like to think about it is like a car. We can have a car run all the time without keeping its maintenance up to date. We tend to wait until we throwing smoke down the muffler, for us to actually get a massage, and that shouldn't be like that. We should keep our maintenance up to date. In a massage level, I believe that depending on the level of stress that you have, you should at least get it at least once a month, because we're talking about an hour to an hour and a half for the entire month.
Right.
Which is, you put so much demand, and mostly if you're doing exercises and that type
That's why I said Gen Pop,
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to get into all of that.
I'm going to get into the other people.
All right. So the people that are highly working out, I usually recommend a minimum of once a month, just because that at least keeps up with some kind of maintenance and allows them to keep going. Now, the other things that people have talked to me about that I'm like, oh, that's definitely not like that, is the whole having a female work on you.
Okay.
I think that's a misconception, because a lot of times, although males are more strong or are stronger than women, women can be really strong through a massage, just through technique and body mechanics. So I think as long as you have a knowledgeable person working on you, it shouldn't really matter whether it's a male or a female. So that's a misconception. The other misconception is that we see a lot of stuff happening on TV, on the news, where you hear male therapists perhaps going past the line with some of their clients. But these are very counted, very few.
Like anything else.
Like anything else.
Bad apples everywhere.
So I think that the people who are scared to do something like that because of what they hear on the street, they should at least try. And nowadays we have so much accessibility to reviews,
of course,
and accreditations, that I think that as long as you're looking up who you're going to, there shouldn't be a problem with that. That would be another one. And I would think the last one would be that people tend to believe that it's a one-time fix, and it's really nice. Like we were talking, it's like dieting. you have to do it on the regular basis to see long-term results. Okay, just because you're not hurting today doesn't mean that you don't need a massage.
Right.
It means that, hey, listen, let's keep it this way so the pain doesn't come back to me. And if it ever gets to a little bit of a point of tension, you know where you need to go.
Right.
All right, and that includes also the homework on the side of the person who's getting the massage. We have to keep up with our stretching.
Right.
We have to keep up with meals that allow us not to be swollen all the time. I mean, that's huge. And although I do massage, that's something I talk to my clients about. I'm like, hey, are you eating too much sugars, too much sodium with that sugar, too much carbs? I'm not an expert in the matter, but I've been around the world of bodybuilding and the gym so much that I start learning quite a few things as you go. And that's a big misconception. People need to keep up with their maintenance. And it's not just massage, it's the things that they do at home as well.
I always use the car analogy.
Yep.
You know, the tires need air.
Yep.
Your engine needs an oil change. You know,
100%.
No one disregards their vehicle because it's the thing that carries them to work.
Right.
But they disregard the vehicle that carries them every day.
Carries them through life.
And we can't change that vehicle.
No.
We can't.
The
Can't
warranty,
just buy a new one.
the warranty expires, and you're like, all right, I got to keep going.
And that's one of the reasons that this year, like we do these immersions where we have clients come in for 48 hours and they train with us, they eat with us, we cook here, we do everything
That's
here.
awesome.
And one of the themes for this year is recovery, and doing things that are going to enhance the recovery process. Because a lot of the people that we work with are beating up their bodies a lot, right?
On a constant level.
And that leads me to the next question, which is for that population, which is working out 4, 5, 6 times a week, that is putting a lot of strain, wear and tear on their muscles, on their body, on an ongoing basis. What kind of maintenance on that side should they be looking for to enhance their progress? Because I position it that way because unfortunately, most people don't want to hear this is what you should do to take care of yourself. Most people want to hear like, well, how am I going to get better?
Right.
So I always am let me give you what you want.
Right.
And on the back end, I'll give you what you need. Right.
Correct.
So let's give them what they want. What do they need to do to get better at the thing that they're already doing through something like that?
One of the biggest things I would say is definitely, so on my end for massage, definitely continuously have your therapy done. Like I said, a minimum of once a month. For people who are highly active like that, they usually come to me every 15 days or so. If they feel something before the 15 days, they usually book their appointments because they understand how important it is. On their side, definitely stretching never gets old. I think.
Calling us out.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Even the best people out there.
The shoe fits.
Hey, listen.
Lace that bitch up.
Even the champions out there, sometimes they just don't take their time stretching. Although they understand that that's something that they need.
Of course.
But it's not necessarily what they want in the moment because of time or because the spot is already taken by somebody else. At the end of the day, you can do stretching at any time of the day. I recommend to my clients who are highly busy, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and stretch in the shower? It's one of the best times you can do it. You have usually it's a hot shower. So that allows you to actually stretch further positions that perhaps you couldn't do it on a cold stage of your body. So at least you got to take a shower every day, right? At least we hope.
We hope.
So at least start with that. Start stretching in the shower at night or in the morning that you do it. And then start implementing that discipline because everything is a discipline, right? Into your workout. I think that's one of the biggest. Thankfully, at the gym where I'm located, which you guys go, we have also vibration therapy over there just for the people who go to the gym.
Not me.
Not
You
you.
tried to put me on that machine. I'm like,
And she stepped for 2 seconds. She's like, this is not for me. I was like, well, at least you try.
Yeah,
The thing is about trying to see what works for you.
Totally.
Once again, that might not be for everybody. But for most people, something like that vibration machine will work and allow them to create that circulation, that everyday circulation, allow them to go further into the stretch better than they would just regularly doing it.
Right.
But we need to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think the most basic is that stretch. From there on, you have so many things that you can do from, I'm huge on Epsom salt baths.
Okay.
I think that's something that we all can do. We all should do. And
We still haven't done it.
We didn't do it.
right. So
I'm sorry.
imagine if the coaches are not doing it, how would we expect them?
I was like, I promise you. Like after our last massage, I promise you I'm gonna go home and do it. And I told him like,
Well,
gotta
first
do it.
of all, let
He's
me
like,
tell you
yes.
something. Let me.
What did I do
We
in
say
two?
everything.
Yeah, we're very
Like,
upfront.
All right.
When I was talking to him, I said I need a short massage, the shortest amount of time possible, because there's no way that I can sit still for that long. I'm looking at my phone right now, right? Like there is just no way
So much
that
going
I
on.
can sit still for an hour. Forget that. He's like, you need at least 90 minutes. I was like, 90 minutes? Shoot me in the face. There's no way. Like, but I was like, you know what? I really do need it. Like, I've been trying to get a massage for like a year.
No,
That's
false. I have been trying to make him get a massage.
correct.
For the last 2 years, and
So
he
I've needed-
refuses. I've tried Christmas, birthday, like I try to make her like, I'll gift it to you. He's like, don't do that. I don't have time for that.
So finally, like that day, like I booked it. And even during the massage, when he said, you need more time, I was like, yeah, all the time you need.
Give it to me.
You know what it is once you start feeling
Right.
that good, like, oh man, so this is what it feels like to get a good massage.
And we've said that, I've been saying that for years. No one knows what they're supposed to actually feel like, because we get accustomed to feeling like crap most of the time. Everybody's run down, everybody's tired, everybody
pick me up
hurts,
mid-afternoon.
and everybody thinks that that's what normal is like.
Correct.
Until they feel good. And then they feel good and it's a one-off. It's like, there's no way I can feel like this all the time. It's like the opposite. You should feel like that all the time. And you should feel bad maybe sometimes
Correct.
because you did something to cause that. But it shouldn't be the other way around where
Body's
you are
designed.
run down all the time.
I agree. A lot of people, I'll give you an example, a huge example, people with headaches. You know how many people out there suffer from headaches on the daily? And they think it's a normal thing. Oh, well, you know, it's just age. And I tell them, listen, that is not age. That is just your body telling you,
Something's
giving you
wrong.
a signal, there's something wrong.
Right.
And most likely it's muscular, to the muscular level. A lot of people think it's like, well, it's because I ate this or because I slept wrong last night. I'm like, it's not, the body usually doesn't go off one thing that happened. It's an accumulation of events that leads you to that.
Yes.
So I think the body's so, that's the thing. The body's so amazing at what it does and resilient that even when it's halfway working, it still works.
And pretty well.
And so well that you don't think that that nothing is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And we, again, unfortunately live in such a fast-paced world.
Right.
That most people, even for what we do, don't want to make time.
And they think it's a luxury. Like,
Right.
I always thought like massages are luxuries. I used to think facials were a luxury. I used to think having a trainer is a luxury, right? Like we all think, but it's not. Like
Well,
it's a necessity.
but I was even going to say, like, even people like this day and age with the amount of information that's available still don't make time to even exercise.
Correct.
Don't make time to go for a walk. Don't make time to pay
Drink your
attention to what
water.
they're eating, right? So we go all the way down to the basic level of the things that people are not making time for, when the challenge is that if you did make time for all of these things, how much better would you operate on the other
On a
side?
daily basis.
You know,
Correct.
how much more efficient would you be at your job?
Right.
How much better would you feel showing up to do X, Y, or Z thing if you did these little things that don't consume that much time, you know?
Right.
Like we say it often about exercise, but even on the maintenance side, on the recovery side, on the stretching side, it's these little things that pay big dividends if you let it compound over time. But we are in such a rush that if it's not immediate, we don't want it. Right? That's why we'd rather take a pill. So if I have a headache, Advil's a solution.
Yep.
Not figuring out what's causing the headache.
I know I've had a headache for like 3 days, and I'm convinced that it's my neck. It's my glasses, but it's also my neck.
Right. Boy, it all connects. All the nervous system from your eyes connects into your
But I can
spine.
feel it in my neck.
100%. And well, that's one of the main focuses that most people get. They get a lot of stress in the traps and the neck, and perhaps they hold on to those shoulders so high all the time.
How much tension have you seen recently by this thing, people being like this?
He said it to me.
I said it to her. It's funny. That's such a huge problem, and I think it's worldwide right now.
Right. Like,
after the cell phone became a thing, the internet, right, on the cell phone, that was the biggest thing. Now we're on our phones all the time. There were studies done that they saw on people are creating a protrusion right on the base of their skull, and it kind of looks like a little lump now. And
I
that's
have
like a
one.
right, and that's like a
not
normal
kidding.
thing now in people because all the years of doing this,
Right.
or bring their neck down, or bring them, and that's constantly tension between your neck and your occipital region of your head. So no wonder we're having headaches. No wonder we're having bad circulation because, like you said, it's such fast pace. We're not doing the right thing to help us. We're doing the opposite. All right.
We're just going.
We're just getting ourselves more deep
Go,
in
go,
the
go.
hole. And
Yeah.
then when we get to the bottom, it's when we ask for help.
Right.
And that's when going to the right people comes in handy. So I'm hoping that through this podcast and this type of information, we can let people know, hey, listen, you don't need to get everything, but you need to start somewhere. And that will lead you to the next level. Definitely rehabbing will lead you into working out. Working out will lead you into rehabbing. I mean, it
goes hand in
together.
hand.
goes hand in hand. It's a whole circle of things.
And then what are some things that people should expect out of that initial massage if they've never gotten one? And what are some of the things that people should look for in terms of ongoing maintenance?
Okay. So
Because people always want to measure, right?
Right.
So if I do this, what am I going to get? So what should they look for?
Right. So the first thing is, once you get a massage, you're most likely, one thing is that I always, depending on the person, once again, and the level of how much they can take through the massage, they're going to be sore. Most likely the next day on the areas that we worked on, they're going to be sore. So I usually recommend them to take care of their hydration. That's one thing they have to look upon because they're going to be releasing a lot of toxins that we move around the body that perhaps were stuck in there because circulation wasn't all there. So that's one thing to expect. The Epsom salt bath, I usually tell them to do that so they don't feel so sore. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's magnesium. It's huge. Another thing on the ongoing...
Let's not skip. Let's go into detail. Because I think sometimes, like, if you're talking to somebody that knows, it may be obvious.
Right.
Do it like this. How should somebody do an Epsom salt bath?
It's a good question because even I was doing it wrong for the longest time.
Really?
Until I find out, I read the back of the Epsom salt package and it tells me, well, you're supposed to be doing at least 1.5 to 2 cups of Epsom salt in your bath. I was probably doing like half a cup. And that still felt good.
Right.
But that's what it... So when you get into an Epsom salt bath, you can do it at least once a day.
Okay.
It's not going to hurt you. It's natural. You want to have a nice warm bath, not hot, because hot can burn you without even knowing. It can burn your epidermis. It can burn your skin.
I'm a burner.
Yeah, well, most...
I come out of the shower, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Listen, most
I'm
women
like,
love
red.
that hot.
Yes.
But that's also,
I need to burn in there.
So definitely not burn, definitely not inferno mode.
Okay. Wow.
But you want to have something that relaxes you. Definitely, once again, heat relaxes you. The Epsom salt is going to allow your body to really get to that relaxation mode. You're going to start seeing the results through the day, not just in
How
the
long
moment.
do you have to sit in there for?
About 20 to 25 minutes. It's a good mark.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to stay still for about 20 to 25 minutes. You want to make sure you soak yourself in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Your whole body. Now, for the people that don't have the time to do that, and they have specific areas like your feet, your knee, your hands, you can do it in a tub, like in a little, not even a tub. You can do it in a little container where you a bowl or something where you just you put the area that you want to soak in there. Same technique, same principle. But that's just more just in case that you don't want it, or you don't have a tub, for example.
Right.
Right. Maybe you don't have a tub.
Right. So that would be another way that you can do it.
Okay.
Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay,
It's pretty
cool.
simple.
And then what else before I cut you off?
What to expect from the massage? Well, I would think that you should expect short-term results in the first sessions. And then as the session goes, which once again, it depending, if we're talking about, like you said, the Gen Pop, we're talking about at least like twice a month. You're going to expect to see results as the months go, longer results.
Okay.
So perhaps, and I asked the first question that I ask my clients is, hey, listen, how was the last massage? How long did it take for you to feel normal? From feeling normal to feeling how you usually feel,
Right.
that tension or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how I can intake and say, hey, you know what? Let's do this in a week. Let's
Right.
do this every 15 days. And because that would tell me how fast results we're seeing.
Right.
Once again, the shoe doesn't fit every
Right,
I was
Never
fucked
felt-
up a week later. Like that's like how long it lasted me.
Right.
So it's like I probably need a lot more often at first. Before
Right.
I can space it out more.
And that's exactly what
I'm sure you were too.
that's exactly what I talk to my clients, that the first times it's going to be more continuous, and then I want to get to what I call just a maintenance
Right.
massage.
Right.
Once a month if we have to, like that's the nice way. And then if you feel something special, then we'll focus on that.
Right.
I think that most things, if you look at them, are like that.
Yeah.
Right? If you train really hard, you follow your meal plan, you do your things, you do all the work to get to transform, you do the thing to get to the place where you can sustain that outcome. And sustaining that outcome doesn't take as much work until you have another goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're all beat up like we are and you just want to feel better, then that's part one. But then if there are other things that you want to work on, then, you know, along the way, you figure that out.
100%. And, you know, it's funny. I actually went through it myself. At some point when I was 25, I was about 210 pounds myself.
Yeah.
It was some muscle, some fat. I kind of did a dirty bulking, a lot of eating Italian and all the pastas and all that stuff.
We love pasta.
Right. Which is not bad, but it's knowing when to eat it and what to eat. Right. And the thing was, I went to 210 pounds. I'm 5'8". I'm 5'9" in a good day. Okay. That was really heavy. I was feeling my joints. I felt like an older person. And I could see how some of my clients will feel like that. So going through it helped me a lot understand, all right, so I need to get back into discipline, into knowing my body, because everybody's body is a little different, and what you can intake or not, what makes you inflame or not. And I went in a matter of 5 months, 5 to 6 months, I went down to 165. I stay around 170, 175 are like a 12% body fat, 10% body fat, and that's just my normal. It doesn't intake a lot of me now to keep myself
to maintain
in there.
that.
Right. At the beginning, like you said, it's just creating that plan and stick it to it. But once you stick to it, you can start changing it up as you as you
But if
see
your
fit.
goal changed, like if you wanted to get bigger or smaller or leaner,
then that
or
has to
whatever,
change.
then it would require the work. But once you achieve what you want, or if you're in a season where you're like, I do want more, but I'm not doing that right now, the maintenance of that or maintaining
would
that
change.
is a lot easier and takes a lot less than
100%.
achieving the thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Clarity in the goal is critical.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people see or watch or hear all these other things and they try to implement, right? Again, even with massage, just because you see your favorite Instagram person or celebrity or athlete doing whatever they're doing doesn't mean that that's what you need.
Correct.
So it's important to make sure that you are
tailoring
or having clarity in the thing that you want,
but
so
tailoring
that
it to,
so that you could tailor it to the thing that you want.
100%.
What are some of the things that more people should be doing regularly when it comes to not maintenance but massage specifically, like time wise, right? Like for efficiency's sake, how much time should they be dedicating on an ongoing basis at the beginning to really get to the other side of whatever is, you know, whatever ailment they have or whatever is bothering them?
Depending if it's depending on the amount of muscles, obviously, and what type of sports or what they're doing for their bodies, it usually takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to really work in a full body massage. So there'd be at the beginning, I'll be looking at some that kind of like that time between a 90 to 120 minutes massage, because it takes that much to really go through the muscles and really allow them to relax. And that's just one session.
Right.
So if you get in 2 sessions a month, we're talking about like 3 to 4 hours of massage. But when you see the bigger picture,
right,
that's really nothing.
It's not.
That's why it's so important to do your homework.
We spend that much time scrolling.
Right.
More.
Way more, but I'm saying, you know.
Right. So maintenance, once again, it doesn't have to be so straining on your schedule. It just needs to be part of your schedule.
Absolutely.
For it to happen.
Like a workout, right? Like it takes an hour of your day. Like when you really look at your day, like we all have 45 minutes.
Right. And listen, I worked out right before I came.
Right.
I did a massage. I said, you know what? I have like 45 minutes to work out. Let me get this done now, because I know that later on my day's just going to get busy and perhaps it's not going to happen. So instead of working against myself, I work with my schedule.
Exactly.
What are some of the massages that people should be trying to get more of? like specific kinds?
Kinds. I mean, I believe I'm pretty big on therapeutic massage and in a combination of sports and deep tissue. Those are the main three massages that I go for. But with that being said, I implement a lot of what is called a neuromuscular alignment. So it's pretty much aligning the body back to the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes our shoulders, one like it happened to you, one of your shoulders have grown in a little bit more of an angle than the other one. So it's allowing it to go back into a more natural stage.
Right.
That's another big one that I'm pretty fan of because I see really good results. And then I think people should start looking more into it. Other than that, those are the biggest ones, including stretching.
Okay.
I know I sound like a broken record, but it's such an important thing, mostly in the daily, for you to see even more results in your end, from a massage, from a workout, all together.
What about like the specific massages like reflexology or?
Now, reflexology and stuff like reflexology or Grafton or we have Lomi. We have so many different types of massage. It really comes to preferences.
Okay.
And the type of results you see with them. I'm just talking to you about the most general massages that you're going to find out there. If you're having a specific problems with your feet, for example, you definitely want to go to a reflexologist because then they're going to work more in depth in what it is that is the foot.
The foot.
More than what I could do for you, which is more of a general level of massage or more tailored to specific areas of the back, neck, shoulders, arms. Reflexology is like a whole different ballgame when it comes down to that. Although it's part of it, there's so much that goes into it because, I mean, pretty much you're telling me that parts of the foot connects to the rest of the body, organs, muscles, which is, I find it to be true because I see it in my practice. I do in reflexology is something that I do implement as part of a massage, but it's not just a whole concept of it.
Right.
It's huge. I mean, you can notice the tension of a person on the lower back just gone in their foot. I can tell how tight you are in your hamstrings, in your calves, and your Achilles tendon, just based on the foot. So that would be something that perhaps people can look upon if they're having issues, specific issues.
What about little things that people notice, like carpal tunnel or people that self-diagnose?
Google is a
we
big.
love those.
Funny, I was talking about it with my client this morning that the self-diagnosis is, I mean, even I have done it. When you look a couple of things and then you're dying for some reason. Like, oh, you have cancer or something. I'm like,
we were just talking about that yesterday. I was like, my headache would have a tumor. He's like, you're so ridiculous.
And that's when the whole, I don't know if to call it like this, but it's like a placebo effect. It can work with you or it can work against you.
Right.
You can start thinking, oh my God, the headache. Oh my God, this is a tension in here and this creates that. And literally it's going to lead you to that because the brain is so strong in that sense that can create or not create something that you want. I don't want to go to the left and you end up going to the left because that's what you're thinking about. So something like carpal tunnel, for example, a lot of people, mostly in their older age, or a lot of people who do manual work, like barbers, construction workers, they suffer a lot from that. Massage is so helpful. Massage is not going to fix their issue, but massage is going to alleviate their issues. So a lot of these people can look upon doing a massage if they're suffering something like arthritis or any inflammation of the body, because at the end of the day, massage is going to help you remove some of that inflammation. It created too, but if you follow the plan, you're going to allow the body to pretty much release some of the inflammation too and create also healing for the body.
Very cool.
I love that.
What do you wish more people knew about massages?
I think it's what Lais said. I think that's the biggest thing, which when she said about a lot of people think that it's a luxury. We spend more money in dinners. We spend more money in gifts and other things for other people, or for things that perhaps we should be using on ourselves. So I think massage is one of those things that we should start implementing to our daily lives. And it's definitely not a luxury. It's more of a need thing to do. It's like having to take a shower. You kind of need to take a shower because if not, you start smelling. You kind of need to do your maintenance because if not, your body's going to start aching. And then, like you said, you're not going to be able to do your work. You're not going to be able to be a mom. You're not going to be able to be a dad. Right. How can you be in a happy mood if everything is bothering you?
Yeah, I think it's the misconception of like a spa day.
Right.
It's like the thing you do once in a blue moon.
Right.
But you're talking about a spa day with like champagne and
Right.
a facial and a massage and the steam room and a sauna. And we're talking about like you need to iron out the kinks on your body, right? Like you need to follow a meal plan and exercise
100%.
and drink water. It's part of the maintenance.
Yep.
That's not a luxury. A spa day perhaps is a
It's a
luxury, right?
luxury,
If you're
right.
splurging on doing
A
all the
scrub
things
or
all
something,
day.
yeah.
Exactly. But when we're talking about this is, we say it about fitness too. Like fitness is not a luxury. Like having a tailored meal plan to you is not a luxury. Having a goal is not a luxury.
Actually,
like,
makes
it's
sense.
a necessity.
Right.
Like, we all need it,
It makes sense.
you know?
Who do you go to when you need, let's say, for example, the plumbing in your house went bad? Who do you usually go to? You don't go to the mechanic. You go to the plumber.
You also don't go to fucking Google and try to do it yourself.
Right. Well, some people do, you know, and that's when they actually call the plumber after.
Yeah, and you're really screwed because now the
Right.
problem is a lot
You messed it
bigger.
up even worse.
Yeah.
Right. 100%.
So you definitely, I think that we should start acquiring information, learning about things, but then going to the professionals who are proficient on what they do.
Mhm.
Because
And
instead
let
of
them do it.
Right. Instead of going in circles, which is most people do based on information online and all this stuff, they try everything,
Mhm.
but they try it all by themselves. Oh, let me try this diet. And it's very, like you guys said, it's not for everybody.
Right.
Then I think that hopefully with this information, people start getting more of a general sense of what a massage or a massage therapy is like. And stop getting the misconception that massage is just a spa day.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that we always ask people on the show is to kind of like convey the message of what should the person on the other side do next, right? For example, when we interview a competitor,
Okay.
I always say like, what do you wish the person on the other side would do now that they've heard your story? So in this case, it's like, we're clear that everybody should do it, right? So what should the person on the other side that's either watching or listening look for in terms of that massage therapist? Like what should they be looking for to make sure that they're getting the right?
The
Right.
first one, let's go to Google and look at reviews.
Okay.
Because you don't want to look upon results coming from the mouth of the massage therapist. You want to see the results, and the only way to see the results is through the people who have gotten it. So nowadays we got the ability, thank God, to look at reviews on a business or a therapist, for example, on Google and other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the number one thing we should start doing, and go from there. Research a little bit of, okay, are people happy? What are people saying about this therapy? Are they just relaxed? Are they just, as they're seeing results with the therapist, do they create plans? Is this like a therapist that gets reviews all the time? So they're consistently working on massage therapy at their knowledge, how long they've been doing it. I think that's one of the biggest things that they should be looking upon.
Like do your research.
Do a little bit of research. It doesn't have to be crazy.
Look at testimonials.
Look at testimonials, and usually you find them all within the same place.
Right.
If you really want to start getting into something like massage therapy.
Okay.
I think that's one of the biggest things. And perhaps if you're able to see what is the massage therapist good at. Are they just a relaxation massage? Are they,
Depending on what you need.
right? Are they more of the, you know what? They're after bodybuilders. They're after highly active people. They're after people who have
Older
chronic
people.
pains.
Yeah.
Chronic
Yeah.
pains is huge. I'm huge in chronic pains. I love helping people that have chronic pains, because I know perhaps maybe I can't really fully fix them, but I can get them to the point where they're highly functional.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, those pains
That's
don't,
so
they
cool.
keep them on bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
I always ask, like at the end of every interview, again, our competitors and stuff like that, what has been the most impactful part of their journey, or the most impactful thing that they've gotten out of doing the thing. So I guess for you, like you kind of just covered it. Like what is or has been the most impactful part of your work, like for you?
To me, obviously helping is huge, right? But there's nothing better than seeing, well, I think most of the competitors, right? That's a I love that competitor part. Seeing the results right away is so impactful to me, because I hear all the time where it's like, hey, listen, I got a massage and I barely felt anything. The most impactful is being able to work on somebody within an hour and a half, and see results they haven't seen in years. And I'm talking about years, because they went to the doctor, they try all the pills, all the convenient stuff, and they finally got to this point and they're like, wow, this is all I needed. this is all I needed to put in my life. And I've been going around like circles like crazy. So that's one of the biggest, most impactful things in my life, to see the results from my clients right away. And it's not so much a matter of just confidence, but it's a matter of just like, that's kind of how it works. That techniques lead you to that good result. And if you continue to do it, you're going to see even better results. So that's one of the most impactful, mostly with people that compete or people that have a goal. One of my clients, she is, I believe, she's a veterinary, she's a vet. And she's been doing that for more than 20 years, but she's highly active as well. She does, it's not triathlon. She does like courses, you know, those courses where you have to do like
Spartan races,
and stuff like that. And she goes all over the country. And so she keeps up with me, or I keep up with her.
Right.
I keep up with her. She keeps in contact with me all the time to say, hey, listen, I have a competition or coming up the next month. I definitely need to get my work done this month. She does it every month. But if she knows that something is coming. She plans this even more. So those are the type of clients that I really see the most results with, because
the committed, the consistent.
They are, and they see the results because of that. So yeah, definitely the most impactful is being able to help people and be able to see results right away.
That's awesome. Awesome. Guys, so cool. Hopefully you've got some information out of this, because there are so many takeaways from this episode. And that's kind of what we want to do this season with the show. Give you guys more insights and more of the things that you could be doing to get better. You want to not only work out and eat right, but you want to do all the things that you can do to possibly be better so that you can do more, you know? If you are in Central Florida, or if you want to ever come down to Florida, Francisco, where can they find you?
You can find me at Fitness CF in St. Cloud. You can find my website, franciscoshealingtouch.com, and book your appointment or ask me any questions that you want.
And we'll put his website and a link to all of that in our show notes and on our YouTube page. And for all of you guys that don't know, if you are watching or listening, please make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things that people do on podcasts. Francisco, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, my brother.
It was a pleasure having you on the show.
I love it.
And we look forward to having you back on the show and chatting more about all the things
that you want to do. When you fix us better.
Thank you. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
For all of you guys listening or watching, thank you for watching. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.